Welcome back to Full Circle with Mwikali. A very good morning to you. How you doing? Educated so far? Entertained so far? Yeah, we are all here for you. Infotainment. Ndio maana tuko hapa. 111 444 111. That is our SMS line, and it's just going to cost you shilling to be part of the conversation. Send in your questions, be part of the comments, opinions. We're here for it. Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. We're going to be talking matters interior design right now. It's time for the Char Circle. And we have the gorgeous model. Nkirota, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Mwikali.
You know, you walked into set and I was like, what?
Oh my God.
Catwalk.
Yes.
So you are a model.
Yes, I am.
Is still doing it?
Still,
Still.
yes. I do glamour modeling. And
Okay.
I was also recently a Miss World Kenya finalist. So, yeah, I do modeling actually.
Girl! Oh,
Yeah.
I could see it. Like, you didn't even have to say it.
Oh
I was
my
just
God,
like,
thank you.
the posture. And then the way you're sitting, just hivi. So, anyway, we're not here for that. But I'm happy you're here today.
Yeah.
We're talking matters interior design. Maybe you could just introduce yourself in that kind of space.
Okay. So, my name is Nkirota Mwongera. Aside from modeling, I am an interior designer by profession. And in this season of my life, I'm practicing at One Time Interiors Limited.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that entail for you? Is it what you studied for?
Yes, it is.
That is what you
actually.
wanted to do?
Yeah.
And you're practicing it?
And I'm practicing it. I'm living the dream.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
So I do work for One Time Interiors. It's I find it easier for me to work with a company that's already in the field I am. So what we do is design and build. We do turnkey projects, and what turnkey means is
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was like, you lost me.
Okay, so let me take you back.
Okay.
An interior designer normally takes after the architect. The architect will build the structure alongside the engineers and all that. So I take over them, and then we do the finishes and all that. Then who takes after me is an interior decorator, which is an entirely different field from interior
Interior
design.
design and interior decorator are two different people.
Very different.
Do
and
you
we
think
get
that we make a
confused.
mistake as
You
normal
do.
human beings walking around the
Yeah.
face of the earth assuming one is the same?
Yeah, you do. You'd be surprised how many times I've been confused for a decorator. So let me make it easier for the
Okay.
layman. So, for example, the space we're in.
Yes.
My job as an interior designer is to do the structure. What we're seeing, the partitions, the beautiful backdrop.
Yes.
And then an interior decorator will now come in with the seat and the pillows and the carpet. So they don't design, but they do complement what I've done on site.
Oh,
They
wow.
come after me, actually.
Then
after
we
the interior
forget
designer.
you. You know, we call all of them interior designers.
Yes, you forget me.
You do the hard work.
We do, actually, we do.
Oh my, now we told you guys, be educated,
Yeah.
informed. Okay, so that is what you do with One Time. Is
Yeah.
it the first time that you're working with them, or have you worked elsewhere before?
This is the first time I came straight out of school. I had barely graduated. I did my interior design at Buruburu Institute of Fine Arts.
Okay.
And it's such a
BIFA.
good, BIFA.
Yes,
It's such
yes.
a good art school because most of us get scouted way before we even graduate, which happened for me. So I joined One Time before I graduated, and I've been with them until now.
Then.
Yeah.
So you as an individual, you have your style. You have something that you're bringing to the table at
Yeah.
One Time, right? And they also have structures that they have a vision for.
Yeah.
Do you go with what has already been laid back, or do you now bring in what you see and what you think would work best away from probably what they're seeing?
Okay, so I've been lucky to have a very good team leader, and what he does is give us creative control.
Okay.
So I mostly do residential design, although we actually do handle commercial interiors, which takes care of offices and malls and all that. Then residential, which is now the houses. So what I do is use my own personal style and then blend it with my client at the time. So if a client normally doesn't know what they want, then I'll use my style, which my go-to style is contemporary, with a bit of modern, a lot of lines, and a subtle sophistication of its own. But other times you'll find a client who knows already what they want. They want traditional, they want industrial, and you go with them. But as for my company, they do give us creative control.
So you're able to weigh in
Yes,
on what
I'm
it
able
is.
to weigh in. I'm able to fly on my own.
Yes.
And it's even more personal for the client, because now they feel I have someone who's handling my project personally.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So far, is there a project that you've worked on and you're just like, my God, I think I flew with that one. I loved it, and even the client totally loved it. Maybe you can tell us about that experience.
Yeah. So apart from designing, we also built. So a lot of what I've done is, project management, which is managing a project from the first time it's born, which is the design, all the way until the time we give the client the key. So I can't actually tell you my favorite project, because now that's a personal, maybe individual.
Yes.
But I can tell you I do love my work, because
Yes.
everything is new. Every time you deal with a client, you're using different styles, you're using different elements of the design, which makes it that much special. So I can't tell you I'm living the dream. I really do love my work.
And is it a dream of yours to probably fly solo one day and just do your thing on the side? And we love one time. I do, just in case.
No.
We're trying to look like we're trying to drive you away from that. No, we're not.
Okay.
Yes.
So not really. I've not had a dream of opening my own company just yet. I think it's important for me to have experience and learn on the job, which is mostly what I've been doing.
Okay.
Then as we progress, maybe after 5 years or 10 years, then I think I'll be ready to fly on my own.
Yes.
But right now I'm focusing on getting the experience and getting to know how the industry is, because it's a
Yes.
really broad industry.
Yes.
And as a woman in a construction industry, then you need everything you can before you go out on your own.
Great.
Yeah.
New things come up. When we were growing up, the kind of structures we had, the kind of interiors we had, totally different. Like even from basic ceiling or floor,
Yeah.
it was very, very different. That means it keeps changing, it keeps evolving.
Totally.
So what do you do, to keep abreast of what is new? And maybe with that question, you can also maybe enlighten us on, are we good clients or are we stuck with maybe Najuahi? I don't want your new ideas that you've picked from Sijui Wapi Pahi
Yeah.
to bring it to me.
I totally get you. So yes, I do research. In fact, for every single project, I have to do research based on that specific project. I have to look at what's in the market, what service providers are offering, what this client wants, and how I can make everything I put there good. So that means a lot of times you'll find a difficult client, to be honest. They'll be like, I want this and I don't want anything else. And a lot of times it's so appealing, but it's not functional, which is wrong. And I can't build something that is not functional. So
Do you have an example of such?
Yeah. I met a client who wanted a TV stand. And it's so pretty, but it wasn't giving us room to hide the wires. People only see the pretty
But those
things.
are the ones we see on Pinterest where the TV is just hanging and you're wondering, where are the wires? I want that.
Yeah.
I don't care how you do it, but that's what I want.
Yeah, so now you have to sit them down and talk to them and tell them, okay, your idea is good, but if we add this small aspect, then we'll be able to now get functional design and something that is also appealing for you. Because at the end of the day, I have to check my quality control. I have to make sure everything I'm doing is neat also, apart from the beauty. So we do sit them down and try and reason with them. And luckily, half of the time they do listen.
Like half the time.
Half the time.
We are difficult
really
humans.
It's
Pinterest.
But you know what? We do. The client is right.
Yes.
So we do try as much as possible to come down to their level and talk to them and work with them.
Sometimes we choose to walk this journey alone. I will be my own interior designer, interior decorer. I'll be everything, That's not a word, guys. I will be everything, and I will want to put everything the way I see it. I will research, maybe YouTube it and do things. And probably I'll end up just making a mess of what my idea was. Like you said, it could not be probably functional. Do you come in as well to just remedy the mess that I made as a wannabe interior something?
Do you know, if I tell you the number of times I've had to, we call it firefighting. A client comes to you and you give them a quotation and they decide, you know what, I can do this on my own. I got this.
Yes.
And they don't get this at all. So what we do is, before a client gets to that point, we do tell them, if you decide to do this on your own, it could be more expensive than you'll spend doing it with us. And why is that? Because service providers sometimes will lie. Tradespeople will take advantage of a client. They look at you and they know you don't know anything about flooring. And they'll come and do a floor that will look pretty for 1 month, and then after that you come crying. So a lot of people will choose to work on their own, but it's not advisable. You'd rather hire us, let's say, at One Time Interiors, or me, as a designer, to guide you through the entire process. Because when I come in, I'll come with my people. I'll check what they're doing every day. Because if we're on site in a month, I'll have to keep checking what they're doing daily. I'll have to keep records of the budget, because we can't go overboard what the client is paying, and we also can't go under. We can't give you just bad quality. So it's easier for someone to just get a professional, because we will come with a full team and handle your project until the very last day, and give you the key to now come in and do the furnitures yourself, or now look for an interior decorator. Okay. So it's not, I wouldn't advise anyone to do that on their own.
There are different styles to the way we want our homes to be now, and you listed a couple of them: industrial, contemporary. There are people who are minimalists.
Yeah.
There's a lot to go with. Is there a particular, when you look at the scene now, would you say that we are picking up on something that is unique and different from what it used to be? And what would that be in terms of the different styles that are there?
So the most common general style right now is contemporary. Contemporary now is adapting a lot of lines, a lot of everything is, it actually looks modern. You just look at it and it's like geometrical shapes and all that. And what that does is it simplifies the interior. Because the traditional forms had a lot of curves and a lot of shapes.
Yes.
What now we are doing is using just simple lines and achieving what we have. So you can find a kitchen that is actually like this. It's flat. You don't see the handles. You don't see, but when you touch it, it opens. So there's a lot of modern technologies that are coming in to improve interiors. So contemporary is also modern. So it's basically saying we are moving from where we were before and going into a modern world, because everything has technology. Technology is working for everyone. It's working for you in media, it's working for me in construction as well. So yeah, it's contemporary, definitely.
Okay, that's where we are headed.
Yeah.
And when we look at the scene right now, and most people would be like, akina One Time na akina Kirote, they work just for people with big houses. Mine is like a small one, but I still want it to look nice and cute.
Yeah.
Is it possible? And maybe you can give tips to people with just small spaces and how they can make or bring in maybe light or make the space look bigger than it actually is.
Okay, so we don't just handle big clients.
Yes, please, let's make it clear.
we handle everyone. We have room for everyone. What we do is we come in and listen to your brief and take your measurements and then take you through the design process, which we can talk about later. But for people with really, really small spaces, let's even talk about a bedsitter. Okay. What you can do in a bedsitter is make sure it has a lot of light, which means using colors that are very light, like whites, and then whites or very light grays, very, very light grays. And then you can now complement your furnishings with subtle colors, like use neutrals and then add one dominant color. So whether it's on your walls or you're doing wallpaper, it's always good to go with neutrals and then pick one point that you can do a dominant color, so you don't end up with a busy, you have red this side, you have yellow this side. It's always good to go with neutral colors, or monochromatic is what we call them. So you have, if you're doing red, it's from a very peachy like color all the way up to maroon and wine red and all that. So you always safe.
Okay. It also gives the illusion that we have a lot of space in
yeah,
the room.
yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay. You were talking about something that the process, the design process.
The design process.
Please tell us about that.
Okay, so what happens, let me talk about my company. So let's say you've come to One Time Interiors, we've received you, either you're coming from a referral of a client we did before or social media. So the first time is to receive you, and then we listen to, whether it's via call, we listen to what you want. Then we ask you for a site visit, which will now we bring in our team or the designer in charge of it. So we take measurements, and from the measurements we do a concept proposal. Concept proposal is now when I sit down with you and I ask you, Mwikali, do you like grays? Do you like something that is modern? Do you like a traditional? What vision do you have for your space? Because if I build something that I like, you'll enjoy it for 1 month and then you'll come back and say, I don't like this.
Not for me.
Yeah. So concept design phase is basically understanding what the client wants. And then from there we go to 2D designs, which is basically the floor plan. Then now we'll draw the 2D layout and decide what's going where and what's going on here. And then we'll go back to the client again and ask, are you comfortable with this, how things are placed? Yeah. And then from there we go to 3D. 3D involves pictures. So let's say you're trying to hire this space and it's totally blank. 3D helps you imagine how it will be like when we build. So we do 3D renders. They're rendered images, which is basically a photo. And then we'll also give you a video of how from when you'll walk in the room, how will you maneuver through the rooms. Wow. So by the time we are actually getting on site, you know exactly how your house looks like.
Okay.
And this helps out with budgeting. Because of course after the 3D, after we've agreed this is how you want things to be, then we give it to our QS who will do a quotation that we will
QS,
now discuss.
Quantity surveyor.
Yeah. So they will give us a quotation. So now you know what kind of budget are you looking at.
Okay.
And then you tell us, do you want a discount? Can we remove this and add this? Then we decide. So when we go to the groundbreaking meeting, which is basically me mobilizing my tradespeople and my service providers to do your project, by that time it's very rare to come and see a client saying, you added this and I didn't want it, because we've worked with you since the first time you came into our doors until this point. So by the time we are going to site, very, very minimal changes and less conflict. Because now you're not saying we've used your money badly, and you're not saying you've taken advantage of us. We are basically on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we talk about money, Beshas, what's the range like? Is it specific, or does it depend with the kind of project I'm bringing to the table?
It actually depends because interior design is an art, and art is very subjective. What you like is not what I like. So we have to customize for everyone. So what we have is a standard fee for site visits, which is 5,000.
Okay.
That is a way for us to get our clients to commit, so that we know you're actually serious about this project. And then from there now we can see if you want just simple partitions or simple paintwork or something like that, then we have packages tailored to accommodate all that. So you'll find a client who wants, I just want it painted and partitioned, and then I move in. And then there's this one who has so many ideas, all the way up to that one who wants to import things from Paris or something like that.
Yes.
So we accommodate, we charge according to square meters. So you'll find anything from 11,000 per square meter all the way up to 25,000 per square meter. And 25,000 is basically people who really want custom pieces. They don't want bought furniture, they want you to build it on site, such kind of caliber. And then this, the first package handles people who just want a small space done custom, and then they'll move in and maybe add things later. Okay. So we do customize per client, and we are also very flexible.
No, I like flexibility.
Yeah.
Don't do it by yourself, because the choma pesa marambili.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so if you can get help, and help is there.
Yeah.
So consult. Thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah,
what would be your advice, parting shot, for anybody who's tuning in and probably they are looking to, get into that space, probably looking to study the same?
Yeah.
I think you've sold the dream. I think you have.
My advice basically is just to do things the professional way. I mean, surely if we had just anyone sitting on your seat, then this show wouldn't be as amazing as it is. And it's the same thing for construction. I would advise people to look for professionals from the word go, from the stage of the architect all the way to the interior decorator. Just make sure a professional handles your project so that you're not going back and forth. Yeah. Also, with the course, I think I'd maybe advise people to follow their dream, because I followed mine. Yes. And every day I wake up, I'm not sad. I'm not sad to go to the office. I'm not sad to go to the site. I'm actually happy doing the art, because it's so satisfying, Mwikali, to just draw and build. Oh my God, it's so satisfying.
I see it. I could hear it in your voice. Thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah, thank you for
How
having
can people
me.
get in touch? Where are you located? Social media handles for one time.
Okay, so I'll start with me.
Yes,
as
please.
A glamour model and interior designer. They can follow me at Kirote Mongera on all platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Then you can follow One Time Interiors on IG as well. And we have our website, www.onetimeinteriors.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're based in Buruburu. Our offices are open. So when they look at our website, they're able to get the location and come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Mwikali, for having me.
It has been a beautiful morning, and I hope you feel the same, but it's time for me to say kwaheri. I can't wait to do this all over again with you tomorrow. So I'm just going to leave you with a teaser of who our guest is tomorrow so that you do not miss out. She is fantastic. She is bubbly. She is super talented. She is Mayonde. Bye-bye, guys.